All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. It's Pastor Dow. I was going to make this video outside, but it's entirely too cold. It's cold out there this morning. So I'm here this morning in the dining hall, and I'm going to go ahead and answer this question. If you've been paying attention to Donald Trump, he's actually doing everything that he said he was going to do. And he's already done started, at least from a business aspect. He's already started making moves in order to keep a lot of these corporations from jumping ship, going overseas, and then bringing their products and selling them back over here in this country. Carrier is one that's done decided to stay because they simply just don't want all that taxes and tariffs levied against them. But when you watch his appointments, I mean, J.P. Morgan is all in there. And so a lot of, I'm getting all these people, what do you think about Trump now, Pastor Dow? What do you think about Trump now, Pastor Dow? Still think the same thing. I think he's a whole lot better choice than what Hillary Clinton is. But I think the problem is this. Let me try my best to help everybody out here to think for a moment. If you're going to appoint people to a cabinet, you appoint people to a cabinet that you believe who can do the job. It's like, it's not personal. For instance, they brought up, during the campaign that Donald Trump evicted people out of one of his apartments that he had. Ain't no big deal. I mean, I'm sure it's bad for the people, but a business choice and a business decision is something that shouldn't be taken personally. That's exactly what it is. It's a business choice. It's a business decision. It's nothing personal. Now, is it a catastrophe for the people? Sure it is. Is there a lot of emotion from their side? Sure it is. But you can't sit up there and fault that man. What would you do if you had to make the same business choice and business decision? Do you keep this building up? Would you have to actually continue to keep investing more capital and have to keep putting more money in it in order to keep it floating? You don't receive any profit at all, or do you just condemn it, move on, or maybe sell the land, sell the building, and do something else? A lot of times we judge people based on humanity, the way that we think they ought to be treated, and then we're hypocrites ourselves. We're pretty bad at it. And I think that if we would spend more time really, truly thinking about the choices and decisions that people have to make, and be a little bit more conscious towards other people rather than our own selfish self, and thinking about our own self, that we will get a whole lot farther along in this life, especially when it comes to love, joy, peace, and happiness. So I understand business very, very well. I mean, we have people over and over and over and over again. You have them in your family. There are people who you give them advice. You tell them over and over again. They keep coming to you. You give them wisdom because they come to you. And as soon as they leave out of your presence, you thinking that they're going to actually take your advice, but they go do the direct opposite. And then the ground beneath their feet starts giving way. And then you know what they do? They're back again. So what is the solution of that? The solution is let these people feel pain. Don't be there to put Band-Aids on them whenever they're cutting themselves and they're bleeding profusely. Don't do that, because all you're doing is helping these people to become more dependent. And that's what America has done. We become so dependent on the printing press and so dependent upon big government that people are not making sound choices and rational decisions today in life. Think for a moment. And that's the reason why I keep touting and over and over again keep saying, listen, choices and decisions you make today is going to affect somebody tomorrow or 20 years down the road. You look at my generation, this is cut 2 in the video. By the time somebody get 40, 50 years old, people are not thinking about their children or nothing like that. The parents before them didn't think about their children. Nobody's thinking about leaving anything for their family. As the old saying go, I got mine, you get yours attitude. It's just a sad situation. Very, very few people actually live to store up and invest for the generation coming behind them. I think that a community is the best way to do it, especially if you're going to be with like believers, because what you're doing is you're setting up something that the world can't take away unless you give it to them. But I understand these J.P. Morgan appointments and stuff. You know, I don't like them. You're not going to sit there and put an ignorant person who knows nothing about finance and knows nothing about making wise choices and decisions. You have to understand when he was working for J.P. Morgan, Wall Street, crony capitalism, that he had a job to do. So let's see how all these appointments do while they're appointed to the president's cabinet. And then we can come out with all our judgments and everything. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe that policy is people. I do. I believe that the people who you set up and select, because I remember Donald Trump coming out hard against Ted Cruz about being a Wall Street crony, and they just, establishment crony and stuff. And then when you sit here and you watch all his appointments, I'm not one to stick my head in the ground and say it ain't so. But you watch all these appointments that he's making and stuff. The majority of them are Wall Street. The very thing that he ran on, the ticket that he ran on, was for the people. When he gets in office, he's appointing all the people who got us in the situation that we're in. Is it going to change? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But I tell you one thing. It's sad to say, but it's just the truth. He can't do no worse, than what Barack Hussein Obama just did. That's just the truth.